Hello guys, oh my god, it feels like I haven't filmed for so long. It's like actually ridiculous at this point. So I know a lot of you guys have been wondering why I have been so quiet on social media. I have been posting on Instagram, but I've been very quiet on my YouTube channel. Usually I try to get at least one video out every single month for you guys, but honestly I haven't even been doing that. It just started to rain, so I've just jumped inside my car. It was literally sunny all day, and I've come down to ride and film, so now it started raining, so yep, good timing there. Some of you guys will know that I work a corporate job. It's how I afford to horse ride and to own Fletcher and to be able to look after him. The problem with that is obviously I'm working Monday to Friday, 5 days a week, and every day I get up at about 5 AM to get to work on time, and I generally won't get home until about 6:30 at night. So in summer that isn't too bad because there's still a little bit of daylight hours for me to ride. In winter it becomes a huge challenge because it gets dark before I've even left work. It's already dark, and so you can imagine then taking Instagram photos or trying to film anything is near impossible. And that's been part of the issue winter just gone, because I want to create content for you guys but I can't do it during the week, and I have very limited time on my weekends sometimes. So it's meant that I've only been able to upload like once a month, which obviously I want to upload at least once a week, not once a month. So I guess what I've had the realization is unless I go part-time or reduce my work hours somehow, like I'll never be able to get to the point where I'm uploading for you guys even every single week. So I've just made a huge change at work. Basically, I will go from working 5 days a week down to 3. I'm actually going to be able to put time aside specifically each week to create videos for you guys, to edit, to actually get things out. I just really wanted to share that update with you guys. I'm just so excited to actually take this YouTube thing a little bit more seriously and be able to upload consistently. Look, oh, this is the little farm cat. Her name's Pink. She's so cute. She's like so friendly. She's like a little dog. Oh my god, she's in my car. Hey Pink. Hello. Oh, this is happening. Oh Pink, what are you doing? She's literally the sweetest cat. I can't even describe. Her personality is like a dog. Oh shit. I'm just letting this happen right now. Pink. Oh. Maybe I can have a ute cat instead of a ute dog. The rest of today's video is going to be like a get ready with me, just for an everyday ride that I would do at home. And then as part of that, I'm also going to try and do a Q&A. A little while ago, I asked you guys on Instagram if you had any questions for me, and I'm going to get through as many of those as I can. What I thought I might do is once this video is up, is I will do a Q&A on my Instagram stories. If there's anything else you want to know, then you can head across to our Instagram page and ask me the question there, and I will try and get through absolutely everyone's questions. If you don't already follow Fletcher and I, it's just hand.equestrian on Instagram. I apologize in advance if I stuff up anyone's username, but I'm going to do my best. Question number 1. Heidi Greta Anna asks, what are your interests outside of horses and riding? What do you do for work? So like I was saying before guys, I work in corporate, so you can imagine I essentially work in an office job, so like 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Obviously my main interest is horses and horse riding, so the only other thing I could consider a hobby really is snowboarding. I'm not that good at it, but I actually really enjoy it. Question number 2 is from Clayty04. What was your worst fall and how did it happen? Probably the worst one I ever had was actually when I was a bit younger. I was about 15 and I was at Pony Club on my old quarter horse Cross, who was like the sweetest, most like classic bomb-proof, like first horse. We were out on cross country and we were doing some schooling over like really small logs, like 60cm logs that we'd done like a ton of times, and they were kind of in like a grid setup. So as my horse came down like the line of fences, and as we went over the first jump, he dropped his knee slightly, and it ended up meaning that he hit the jump, and that kind of threw him forward and down. So he sort of like tripped, but he didn't fall over. He caught himself. I was not expecting this at all because we'd already done the jump like 2 or 3 times. So I immediately was like catapulted off at like 1,000,000 miles an hour. And the problem was that there was a fence immediately after this first fence because it was a bounce. So I ended up hitting the second fence with my chest as I fell off, and that resulted in me being incredibly winded. About 45 seconds to a minute, I actually couldn't breathe at all. And because I was like 15, I was so scared, and I literally thought like, this is it. This is how I go. I'm done for, like I can't breathe. And then a minute later, when I could breathe again, I was completely fine. Alright, so this username's kind of tricking me. It's either Leah May Eventing or Lemmy Eventing, so I apologise. I'm not sure which one it is. They ask, what horses have you had before Fletch and what were they? Why did you sell them? Just off the top of my head, I think I've roughly had 10 horses, and I couldn't say that I couldn't say that there was one reason why I sold any of them and have now ended up with Fletch. I physically outgrew some, I mentally and ability wise outgrew others. Some of them were project horses, some passed away, which is something I've had to deal with as well. I have been thinking for a while now that I'll actually do like a history of my horses video as a separate thing, so I'll probably go into more depth then. Ashy Becky asks, any tips for a first horse riding competition? My number one tip for your first ever competition has to be just don't take the day too seriously. Don't take anything too seriously, just make sure you have fun with it and just try and be as relaxed as you can. Apart from that, I would also say make sure you read the rules so you understand what you have to do on the day, and then bring someone with you who's experienced, whether it's your instructor or a friend who's competed before, so that they can help you walk through the day. Are we dreaming? 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 Annabelle_VDV says, what is your fave breed of horse? I can't really say that I have a favourite breed of horse. I know I should probably say thoroughbred, don't listen to Fletch. But no, I really appreciate all breeds of horses. I like all of them. J Gale Dressage asks, how did you get into horses and who was your first pony/horse? I have to say I don't actually remember a time where I wasn't obsessed with horses. I will say my mum did also love horses when she was younger, but she didn't own horses or anything like that. And I just remember from like the age of 5, it was like every Christmas, every birthday, I was like, Mum, Dad, I want a horse, I want a horse, I want a horse. And persistence paid off, and eventually I did get a horse. When I was 12, I got my very first pony. He was a leased pony called Shah, and he was an Arabian cross riding pony. He was 14 hands high, and I think from memory he was about 4 or 5 years old. So not what you would call the ideal beginner's pony. I absolutely loved him, but we ended up moving him on because honestly he wasn't really suitable for someone who had never owned a horse before. So then I did end up with my very first actual pony that I owned, who was called Kiefer, and he was a little black 13-hand pony, and he was just adorable. So Karina_showjumper asks, any tips on buying your first horse? Don't buy an Arabian cross that's 5 years old and is only just broken in, because it won't end that well. In all seriousness, I think the best advice is to take someone along with you who is experienced. If you have an instructor, that's the perfect person to bring along with you. Bella Watts asks, what are your ride or die products when riding and grooming? So this is the Cowboy Magic Super Body Shine. So that's the packaging there. So what's funny is that you guys actually put me onto this product. In one of my videos, I asked if anyone could recommend a really good conditioner. Fletch has a really thick tail, so I always need something that can get knots out. This kind of does a little bit of everything. It's a detangler, so you can use it in the mane and tail to get out knots, but it also is like a shine for their coats. If you've got a competition or something, you can like run it over their coat and it creates like a really nice shine. So then my favorite riding products have to be my 2 bridles. So I've got the Collegiate Anatomical Training Bridle and the Classic Michelin Bridle as well. I just really like that a lot of brands now are moving into anatomical ranges, things that are actually comfortable for the horse, because I think that's really, really important. So I love both of these. Kayla Equestrian asks, how long have you been riding and how big is Fletch? So Fletch is 16 one hands high, and I have been riding for almost 20 years now, so almost my whole life. My Wild Beast asked, goals for this year for your riding. My goals consist of learning to not flap my elbows so much when I get nervous, and to improve my fitness as a rider. To finish up, I have 3 questions from Life of Legacy. She asked, how long have you gone without riding your horse? How many hours of turnout does your horse get every day? And do you ride outside when it is raining? So the longest I've ever gone without riding Fletch is 2 months, and that was when he injured himself jumping the fence. I personally prefer not to stable my horses unless I absolutely have to, so Fletch is very lucky. He spends 24 hours a day out in his paddock. And yes, I will ride when it's raining, but I don't really like to.
Dreaming.